are you doing, Mario? How was your week?
My week was good. I've been pretty chill. It's been busy, but it's been chill at the same time. I don't know. It's been good. It's been good. How's your weekend?
I've been busy.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it's busy.
okay.
So
Oh, okay, gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah. Are you working from home?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice. Very
No.
cool.
Look.
Harris is out here being all jealous.
Yeah, man, I gotta get up every day and bed tomorrow.
I hear you. I've been mostly working from home. Although I don't know if I mentioned it last time. I should be switching jobs pretty soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll happen soon. Just a lot of learning. It's a different area. It's still IT, but it's a different area. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I did today. I studied a bit today, but yeah.
Doing the big checks now.
That's good. That's good.
She was too lost in the crypto
Yeah,
world.
seriously.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's good. No, it is crazy though, because so I've been talking to a lot of random people to the point where I think I may actually start charging for like people to talk about this crypto stuff.
Good, man. Why not?
Because I've been sitting down and getting to know people's perspectives, right? And depending on where they're coming from, they'll have a certain understanding of like finance or not, whatever. And my chiropractor, who's a doctor, he basically he approached me like a month back, and we've been talking a lot about crypto because he's interested like in stock finance. He's a smart guy, right?
Yeah.
And so I've been kind of coaching him, through this whole crypto process. And some of the concepts that I'm trying to explain to him, I find that he has difficulty with. Mind you, they get more technical, so maybe it's that. But I mean, that's the thing. It's like the things that we're diving into when it comes to crypto. What I'm trying to do is just keep it very top level, high level. That way, you don't get lost in like the low level stuff and that deeper. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. Because yeah, even him, he was struggling a bit understanding some of the different concepts, but he's been learning too. I think that's the important.
I think it's definitely something that a lot of people are trying to learn, but either they don't really know who to speak to about it, or
That's the
they
thing.
just can't figure it out. It's kind of like that
Yeah.
that area that everybody's kind of sitting in.
Yeah.
Kind of like in my boat right now. They don't really know what's going on, but they're trying to figure out what's going on.
No, I agree. I think that's part of it. Like for instance, like this week, obviously, and in the past couple of weeks too, there's been a lot of talk about Dogecoin, right?
Yeah.
Dogecoin is one of the cryptos. I mentioned it yesterday, like when I went live for a bit. It's like it's a joke. It's literally a joke. But the thing is, what's not a joke is the technology within it. I don't know if you guys remember me telling you we're trying to explain blockchain. You guys remember
Yeah.
what I was saying? Blockchain's like the cell phone. Like blockchain is the technology that actually is behind all of this crypto stuff.
Yeah.
And so the cool thing about Doge is that by using blockchain, even though it's a joke and nobody's really developing anything on it, the cool thing is that it's proving blockchain works. Like because there's all this money being poured into it, and people are able to exchange value for it. Doge being right now, where is it? It's like a top four coin out of like all these other coins.
Yeah.
But the technology works, and if the technology works, that's really good for the space, even if it's a joke. So yeah.
That's so weird.
I saw a tweet that Meek Mill bought some. I think GCJ bought some.
Yeah, I think it's for like 50K or something like that.
Oh, probably more to be
Might be even
honest.
more, yeah. He said 50.
Probably more. I woke up. When was it? I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday morning because I was holding a little bit. And it was crazy to me to see that Doge was outperforming my entire portfolio. I was like, what is happening in the world right now? Why is this coin going up in value?
Yeah.
And like all these other legitimate projects are kind of sitting. But that's in a way like a lot of people in the crypto space can seem frustrated, like I was. But at the same time, I think it's good because over time, it's the real projects that have the real utility that come out on top. That's why
Yeah.
Microsoft and Amazon and Apple. That's why they're here still. And there's a lot of other companies way back in like the 2000s that didn't make it because of that.
Yes.
So, but I don't know. How did you guys want to get started today?
Binance?
Finance?
Yeah, because the setting it up seemed kind of weird.
Okay.
It doesn't
No
even.
problem.
Yeah, I didn't see Canadian for like payment or deposit or whatever.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
So
I seen
with,
USD. I was like USD, man. I probably couldn't use it in the States. Like it makes no sense.
Yeah. So the thing with Binance is the global exchange. It is the main place to exchange cryptocurrencies. It's like the most. That's why if you look at the crypto, like the different cryptos available,
Yeah.
Binance Coin is third largest one currently.
Yeah.
Because basically they have been in the space now for maybe like 6-7 years, I think, and they've continued to just dominate the exchanges. You can think of Binance kind of like a bank in the sense where you deposit your funds, you can exchange your crypto, but they're obviously always holding the funds as you exchange them.
Yeah.
the whole process of depositing, let's say either crypto or fiat like dollars, it has become the crypto's fine. You can deposit it, and that's pretty easy. But when it comes to Canadian dollars specifically, it has become a little bit of a hassle because what happened is as banks were catching on, to crypto and stuff and the regulation, uh, they have made it so that people who have credit and debit cards basically can't use their cards for purchases of, specifically for Binance. I think for CoinSquare it'll still work, for CoinField it'll still work, and the reason it'll still work is because they're specifically Canadian exchanges. Unfortunately, they do have higher fees, but you can do it that way. I know what I did once is I bought from CoinSquare, and then I sent the crypto after I bought crypto onto Binance. So that's you can do it that way. It's gonna be more expensive. The way that I've been showing people how to deposit onto Binance now is they actually have a feature that's known as P2P, peer-to-peer transfer, and it works through either Interac, like an e-transfer, or I think some people actually accept PayPal. I think maybe even Western Union, if I'm not mistaken. So they try to circumvent, the whole financial banking system because, I mean, let's be real, crypto is directly competing with the antiquated banking system that we have currently. And so I think that's one of the reasons why now banks are not allowing these sorts of payments is because they realize like the more people use these crypto mechanisms, which are way superior to what the banks currently have in place, the less control they have, right? And there's a lot of other stuff too because banks are highly regulated. Crypto isn't. Like crypto has no boundaries. It doesn't matter, right? So if you want, what I can do is I can share my screen and then we kind of start going through the process of it. If you guys are down.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Are you getting any of the UFC stuff when it comes out?
So I wouldn't buy like UFC NFTs.
Yeah.
Like that's just not my strategy. But I do like the project that is backing it up. I mean, at least this one. I don't know if maybe there's any other ones, but there's a project called Chili's. This one right here, CHZ. It's crazy too because I remember about 3 months back, this token was worth like a couple of pennies. I think I ended up buying it at one point for like 10 cents. And right now it's actually worth about 50 cents. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, 52 cents. But because like I didn't really think of it, I didn't think NFTs were actually gonna be a thing. So I sold when it went to like 14 cents about here, and then I missed out on all of this. But I'm actually, what I can do is while I show you guys kind of what's going on there, I'll even put a buy order because I'm thinking I might buy a little bit of Chili's here. It looks like it's been consolidating for a while. It's kind of due for some upwards movement at least from what I'm telling here. So yeah, I'll put a buy order in and we can try that too.
Yeah, because honestly, man, the NFT thing might go away, but they're putting so much into it as far as like virtual reality, augmented reality, and all that stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like I seen they're supposed to release a Pele one, like a limited edition or something like that.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's like about $6,000 somewhere around there. So.
Wow.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 different images. Like one of it is his head, and one of it is like a hologram or holographic card with him doing the bicycle kick.
That's crazy. Well, NFTs are still continuing. I'm particularly so when I say, do you guys know what bullish means? Like I think we talked about this, how bulls and bears are in the market. Did we talk about that last time?
No.
Or do you guys remember now? So a bullish market or a bull market is when the prices of things are going up, and when it's a bearish market, that means things are going down. And the reason for that is because bulls attack upward, like with their, and then bears swipe down.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why. So these are even if it's like actual stock market, like they'll use this term a lot, just to indicate what type of market you're in. So or the feeling. So I am particularly bullish on Chili's and some of the other NFT projects because they seem to be doing a lot of collaborations with or different organizations and stuff like that do bring a lot of value to the space. So Chili's, we were talking about UFC for instance. So they just announced their partnership. Now they can make their own fan token for UFC. It has its own purposes. Personally, I don't care too much about it. I just know that they have it, and it's a product that people are very interested in because people are naturally interested in UFC. They've already done the PSGs. I don't know if you've heard. There's PSG tokens. There's Barcelona tokens. Have you heard of those tokens before?
Yeah, like everyone's getting one. Right? Like everyone's doing something. Yeah.
It's crazy, right? So this is great. So Binance, like I said again, it's the main exchange for cryptocurrencies. If you don't believe me, what you can do is you can go to Live Coin Watch, which just has a list of all the cryptocurrencies, from most expensive in terms of market cap down to the bottom. The king and queen are Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're the ones that lead the pack. But if we take a look at Bitcoin, for instance, when we scroll down, you'll actually see that Binance has a big part of the volume, the majority compared to the other exchanges, in terms of all of the transactions that are occurring around the world for Bitcoin. And this is just Bitcoin. We have a bunch of other coins, and oftentimes they're actually all looking kind of the same. So Binance is important in that sense because it's, in a way, you can think of it as the most liquid exchange. They're the ones that you can move coins from here to there to there. Whereas something like, for instance, Coinbase, you have it right here, Coinbase Pro, which I'm sure you guys heard of, like their whole stock market IPO, and they made like a lot of buzz or whatever. Coinbase is, I'm not trying to diss people, but Coinbase is kind of like for noobs or for people who are getting started. And they're very limited with coins that they have to offer. I can't remember. I think it's something like 90 coins or 100 coins. Binance has 150 plus coins, and they have all sorts of different projects. But anyways, going back to the actual exchange, we're at Binance.com. And in the United States, because the regulation is special over there, you actually have to go to Binance.us, and it's more difficult to use red tape. But here, because we're in Canada, it's a little bit easier for us. The only problem is, like we were talking about, is you can't really use credit or debit cards. Certain banks, I think, may allow it, but I have yet to find which bank that is. People have said on Reddit, maybe BMO, CIBC. I have friends that have tried it with those accounts, and it didn't work. It just rejects the card. The card is declined. Yeah, even if you have funds. But anyways, so the way that I fund finance is by using peer-to-peer transfers, which involves basically performing an interact transfer to another person, all supported within the actual platform. When the transfer is completed and the other person checks out, okay, I received the funds at my bank account, what Binance does is they actually hold the funds in terms of the crypto or the tokens, and then as soon as they confirm it, they let the crypto go to the person that's buying. And we can do a buy right now if you guys like. I can show you. The way that you do that, you can go to it multiple ways. When you go to the Binance website, you can buy crypto here and go to P2P trading, or you can go to your wallet and go to the P2P area. Your wallet has a lot of different areas on Binance, and again, because they have a lot of different products. Think of it like a bank. Your bank has checking accounts, savings accounts, TFSA accounts, RSP accounts, and those are just accounts. You could have mutual funds, ETF, whatever. The point is, it's the same thing with Binance, but in crypto. So let's go to P2P trading. Okay, so once you arrive to the Binance P2P area, what you're going to see actually, there's a couple of things we'll have to change here. This is the first time that I use it with the website. Normally I do it on the phone. I'll say that the phone, the app is really, really easy to use, like super useful. You can access it basically at any time. But on the website, you'd have to change it so that you get the right currency. So right now, I'm not sure if this is the end, or I'm not sure what currency this is, but we'd have to find Canadian. So we go CAD, right? And then when we change the P2P to Canadian, what ends up happening is it's going to show us a list of all the people that are willing to basically sell their tokens for e-transfers in Canadian dollars. Naturally, Canadian dollars would be with Canadian banks. For instance, this guy right here, Bishek Gupta, he has e-transfer and his bank is TD Bank. So you can basically talk to him. When you enter the process of actually buying, which is over here, you can communicate with them directly so as to avoid any sort of confusion or anything like that. Sometimes there's questions, security questions, that you want to make sure that you get correctly, because everything that you do in terms of the buying process, you want to make sure it's as smooth as possible. So that involves like your name. So for instance, let's say I'm buying the crypto, but Paris, you're going to do the e-transfer. That might be problematic because my Binance account is under my name, but your e-transfer is under your name. So if they receive the funds and they see that it's coming from Paris, even though I might have put the buy order in, they'll see that the person buying is Mario. So there might be confusion there. So what I do is, if it's my account on Binance, then the e-transfer should also have my name, right? So that they know, right? You want to avoid any sort of confusions like that. Or you guys with me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what you'll notice here is after we change the price, there's actually multiple types of tokens or cryptos that you can buy, coins. Right now we have something called USD Tether, which is basically US dollars represented as a token. You may also buy a similar coin called BUSD, which is the Binance US dollars. So it's the same idea, but it's just the Binance token or whatever. But it's the same thing. It holds a one-to-one value with the US dollar, which means it doesn't fluctuate. If you put $50 in USDT, then you will continue to have $50 USDT. It's not like other cryptos that go up and down in price.
Yeah.
There was some kind of like controversy about that the other day.
Okay.
Where they were trying to figure out, apparently some of the information they give on how it was backed, you said it wasn't like correct or whatever, and apparently it's about 74 cents for every US dollar in the reserve fund or something like that. But I still gotta look it up some more and see.
You're absolutely right. So these coins are a little bit weird. One thing for the viewers to understand is because crypto in itself as a whole is only about 12 years old, and even some of the later coins are only like 6 years old. You are now currently in the wild, wild west of crypto, right? The regulation, and especially because it's global, there's so many things that really there's opportunity because the wild, wild west had opportunity. That's when people were moving there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that also comes with a lot of risks or dangers. And what you're talking about is kind of similar to the way that banks operate in terms of like the fractional reserve, where they will hold a little bit of the money but then lend out the rest. The problem is when they hold too little of the actual money, if a lot of people ask for it, how are they going to give it if you lend the rest out? So the same thing has happened, especially with USDT. So here it'll show you the amount of orders that they've completed over time. This guy has 11, 24. This guy's got 442. Quebec Crypto has that. It's almost like that little Instagram. What is it, mark, or the Twitter mark? You see that right there. So I think this means that they've been verified. So they seem to be a really solid, security, safe, whatever.
Yeah.
So I would be inclined to buy from people like this. But notice how they're charging more, $1.30. Even cash for crypto too. And what you also want to keep in mind is the rating, right? Kind of how eBay works, or even Amazon for that matter. You have like 100% completion versus maybe, I don't know, like 96% completion. Not as good. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. How safe is the person you're buying? Are they reputable? Do they have enough orders, do you think? Like, I would personally, this guy probably has a little bit cheaper because he only has 11 orders, but then you might be taking a risk with them in terms of interacting with them. You just don't know. Binance is pretty good in the sense of like, because they hold the funds, they kind of back you up. Anytime you're going to do something like this, make sure that you have screenshots or recordings of everything that's happened. So if you send out the e-transfer, a screenshot of that, of the transaction from the bank account. I think this also gives you some IDs. So just keep trying to make sure that you have all the details because this is real money. Like this is real money you're paying with, right? So after you go here, you also want to take a look at obviously the price, but how much do they have to sell, and what are their limits? So by that it means that they will only sell from 100, for instance, here Olera will sell from anywhere from $100 Canadian to $200 Canadian. That means that if you wanted to buy $300 Canadian worth of crypto or USDT from Olera, that's not possible. Or if you just wanted 50, that's not possible. It's out of the range. Now, there's other guys that sell way more. For instance, if we go back to Quebec Crypto, what you'll see is he's actually selling 50,000 USDT, which is $15,000. His limit goes from 1,000 Canadian to 5,000 Canadian. So the only way you'd be able to buy from this guy is if you buy about $1,000 to $5,000 worth of USDT, right? So that's him specifically. The other guy, Cash for Crypto, has a smaller limit. You can buy from 500 to 3,000. So that's something to consider. And again, this is the total amount. So from me, looking at all of this, what I can see. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Cash for Crypto, is that like Bitcoin Cash or like actual cash?
So this is what we're doing here. Again, we're actually buying USDT. So this is the USDT token that I was showing you over here.
Yeah.
And it's the dollar representation of but in token, right? That's what you're essentially buying.
Yeah.
So when it says here, like for instance, $100 Canadian, if you were to actually do $100 Canadian of this guy, what you'd actually be getting is about what is it, like $71? Yeah, you would get $71 USDT because of the exchange, right?
Yeah.
This is the exchange that you'd be getting. So, but yeah, I don't know. So far, you guys good? Any questions?
Yeah. I'm just wondering about what you said, like for the last guy you mentioned, you said Cash.
Oh yeah, Cash for Crypto. Yeah, that's just his name. That's literally just his name. The whole idea is that these are all peers. They're all trying to sell USDT.
Yeah.
That's why they have a markup. And this is basically the details of what they're selling. You could think of it like if it was metals, it's like, okay, well I have a couple of ounces of silver. This is the price that I'm going. This is the quantities that I'm selling it at. You can think of it like that. It's the same idea, but just with tokens. Okay, so going through there, what you'll want to do, I'm actually looking to see which one I might buy some from. So he's got a couple. These are all a little bit cheaper. I might try him just to see how it goes. 82, it's a small amount. He seems to have. Okay, so in this case, I mean, a cent isn't really all that much for security. I guess in this case, I'm gonna actually try to buy it from one of these guys. They seem to have a lot more orders. I'm just trying to see. He only has 2 orders. This guy seems to be alright. $100 worth. Okay, so I'm gonna buy it from a reliable trust. he's got a 98.48% completion, which isn't bad, but he has a lot of orders, and he has an amount that I'd be willing to buy, which is $100 Canadian. So what I do to begin the process is I go buy USDT. Okay, so I want to pay $100 Canadian, and see how it changes it. You get you get 76.92 USDT. You guys are with me so far, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I go ahead and do buy USDT. Okay, so I place the order. Then after I place the order, what I do here is I close this, and let me see. Okay, so these are the details pertaining to where I have to send the e-transfer. Notice how it's telling me I have 15 minutes to do it. It says please make a payment within 15 minutes. So what I legit do is I go on my phone, and then I begin to perform the transfer. So I go on my phone. I'm with Scotiabank, so I open my Scotia account. I log in. I tell Scotia, hey, I need to do a transfer. Do an Interac e-transfer. Okay, I select my account. In this case, I'm gonna have to add a new contact because obviously I don't have this guy's email.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and add him. Contact manually. One thing to keep in mind: whenever you're doing this, don't mention anything about crypto. If the moment you say, okay, this is for Bitcoin or this is for whatever or Binance, they'll know instantly that it's crypto and they will block the transfer. Because banks are garbage. I don't work at no, I work at a bank, but they're still garbage. Okay, so whatever. Put in his name. Okay, and then I select email method. Sometimes they will have this meeting has limited. Oh, this has limited minutes. Cool. So I'm gonna put his email address. Make sure you're putting the right email address. Then 900 at gmail.com. Okay, just making sure. And then what I would suggest too is if you're gonna do everything, you could also log in through here, do it through your own bank account, and then that way you can just copy and paste. That way there's less user error possibilities. But for now, it's fine. It's easier for me to do it like this. So I continue and then email. Okay, double checking. 100 at gmail.com. I'm adding the contact, and I'm sending the 100. Now, in this case, it's actually asking me for the question. I don't know if you can tell right there. Right over here, it's asking me, it's backwards, but right here, it's asking me for what the question is and the answer. So I gotta tell them, like, okay, what's the question and answer for e-transfer? And this is the chat area right there. So notice how he had already actually said hello. So sometimes, honestly, they can take a while, which kind of sucks because then you have to go back and try it again with someone else. And the thing with this is, Binance allows you to attempt 3 e-transfers a day. If for some reason you somehow fail all of them, you'll have to wait for the next day to find your account. That's part of the process, I guess. Okay, cool. So he sent me an emoji, and he's like, you choose, just let me know. We can make it funny. Best, I don't know, best club ever. We're gonna type Barcelona.
I don't know, you might say Arsenal.
You want me to put Arsenal? I'll put Arsenal.
No.
Let's do Arsenal. Because I disagree.
No, I'm saying he might say Arsenal.
Oh, okay.
You might be Julian's on the other side, man. You never know.
He's gonna think I'm an Arsenal fan. Well, it's part of the joke.
He's gonna deny it.
Okay, so best club ever, Arsenal. Got everything. Boom. Let's send it over. So it all went through. This is that page that you guys get where you see the Interac was sent, etc. So what I do is I actually screenshot it, so I have that on my phone just in case. And now I can tell it perfect. Okay. So I said, okay, no problem. Null. Password is Arsenal. He's gonna laugh.
He's gonna deny it.
Yeah. So sometimes the e-transfer can take some time.
Yeah.
But normally it's pretty quick. Funny enough, I actually did a transfer to someone else's account on Binance. I transferred to him. I have a coin. The other coin, remember the US dollar? So there's USDT. And then the other one's called BUSD, which is the Binance US dollar. I transferred some Binance dollar to him. And that was instant. Like, dude, that took like 5 seconds. As soon as I did it, Binance checked it, blah, blah, send it over. E-transfers, this is what I'm saying. Like, the current financial system is so antiquated. Like, it's crazy. We should be able to the Canadian dollar should be digitized. Wow, I think that means that it sent it. Yeah, it was sent. So yeah, no, it should be digitized. And, we have this. You guys see what he says?
Okay, I told you, maybe Julian on the other side, man.
Oh man, that's so funny. It might be Julian's on that other side.
You never
Who
know.
knows? Changed his name. Jeez. But yeah, so the current financial system is kind of terrible. So, okay, so I transferred it over. Let's see, transfer. Okay, so I marked it now as paid. So basically, what we wait for is we wait for the seller, which is this guy, Abdir Rahman, to release the funds. What I can also do, and I'm sure you guys know, you can actually track your transfer on your account. Oh, amazing. Perfect. So it's really cool because as soon as the transfer goes through and everything is fine, then Binance, I get notifications from Binance as well as text messages that'll tell you the P2P order has completed. And what I can do if you want is I'll take a screenshot of the actual transfers and like kind of what it looks like, and if you want, I can send that to you, and you can maybe put it on the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it gave me the just open it up. Alrighty, no problem. Thank you. I sent him a little smiley face. So okay, so it's already showing me that the transfer completed, everything was fine, no problem. So that was pretty fast, right? That lasted maybe 5-10 minutes. So this is the way that I have to fund it, and Canadians have to fund it. Unfortunately, cards don't work anymore.
So what did you just like purchase? Was it a token you said you purchased? Was that what it was?
That was a token. That's
Okay.
right. So what I just purchased was this token, USD Tether.
And then these people that you're purchasing from or that you can choose to purchase from, they just have a bunch of tokens that they're selling?
Yeah. So basically, if you actually go back to that P2P area, let me just remember we went to buy crypto, P2P trading. Again, the whole thing is peer to peer. It's kind of funny because back in the day when torrents and like movies, like you downloaded a torrent, that's the same mechanism type of thing where it's like you're downloading it directly from someone. You don't have to go to the bank or whatever. You're downloading this is Blockbuster, actually downloading it from someone directly. And so, see, this would have been a good option if I had $1,000. Never mind, that was better. So for these people, each person is an individual, right? And kind of like me, like I could literally sell my crypto here too in the same exact way. It's just each individual has different offerings. So USDT, that's what we just bought. This token, which again represents the US dollar in crypto or token form. Actually, you might even see reliable trust is right here. Right? But yeah, we bought USDT. I'll show you how now they implemented something called a compound interest mechanism, where basically any funds that you put into a pool, like in terms of, it's called staking. Like it's almost like you're lending out the money, So you're the bank. So you lend out your tokens, and by lending them out, you can activate a compound mechanism that whatever interest that accumulates automatically starts to be added onto the principal, and your money grows a lot quicker. Yeah. I'm talking 150% quicker in a year. That's crazy. The bank is going to give you maybe 1 to 2%, which again, terrible. So I don't know if you guys have questions. I know again, like I could talk about this for sure.
Clear as mud.
Is that relatively clear, Nikita? How are you feeling about crypto?
It says clear as mud. It's not clear. So I don't know how clear that is for him.
Hey, the elderly said it. I don't know if it makes sense. They always say stuff that doesn't make any sense. You're like, okay, I guess it is.
Yeah. I actually understand it a bit better today after this.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah. No, and I think again, I encourage everybody to find that crypto mentor. I'm sure a lot of people know someone. I know people like me kind of get annoying because literally all I want to talk about is crypto.
Yeah. The thing, who was it? I think it was Warren Buffett I seen the other day. He was saying something about it's not going to work or whatever. But yeah, like the usual. You're just accustomed to a certain way. They don't want to change because now they have to relearn everything basically, and they are so much invested in it. So now it's like they're not really too fond of it. So you're saying something that it's not going to work or whatever. But it's like, yeah, I think someone sent me a video. Actually, was it you? I think.
Yeah, I sent you that video that I sent.
Yeah, it's
about
I was like, what? Bill Maher. Like, what do you know?
Bill Maher, yeah, that's right.
I don't know why. Okay. Yeah, but it's just most of them just they just don't get it. But they don't understand. Like tech is moving like at a serious rate, like way faster than it has ever been. So because when you really think about it, like we go to work and do our job, and then we spend our time learning about all this stuff. But there's some people who, like that's their job to figure out what's next, to push something. Okay, you can do this in 1 second. Well, I can do it in 4 milliseconds. Like there's always someone working on something that's going to improve and beat set records or whatever. So the fact that these guys thinking, oh, well, this is just going to continue the same way forever. It's like, are we delusional or are you? I mean, it's already everywhere. It's not like we're just talking about it and it's just not really there. It's like you could actually use it right now.
Oh, absolutely. I agree, and it's funny you mentioned that because I looked at it too right after that Bill Mayer video came out. In this article, I saw it because basically what was happening with Warren Buffett. Have you ever heard of Berkshire Hathaway?
Yeah, it makes all the money.
That's the company, and it's really cool too because like I have a lot of respect for Buffett in the sense that his business, would it be acumen or like his experience is actually cutthroat. Man, this guy is crazy. One of the things I really like about him, he's contrarian to what your financial advisor would say. So if you go to a bank and you speak to your financial advisor and you have a bunch of money locked up, like in a checking or savings account, let's say 100,000, go into the bank, get $100,000. The financial advisor, first of all, doesn't really care. They just kind of want to get the sale of the 1 or 2% and then move on. But they're bred to basically kind of like be like drones in the sense that they'll be like, okay, so we're going to take this $100,000, we're going to buy up mutual funds, ETFs, whatever. We'll put it in some form of financial product that is normally, when we're talking about this, is normally diversified. And then by then, and sorry if I'm insulting anyone, like I'm not trying to insult people. I'm just saying like this is what happens.
It is what it is.
My bad. I hate the system. I don't hate the people. But basically what happens is, you bring your funds, you get your percentage, etc. Not only do you have to pay for that percentage, but by you diversifying, they say it's a form of risk aversion, like you're avoiding risk by purchasing the best ones. But Buffett is different in the sense that he doesn't diversify. I think his company in itself, I don't know how many companies they own now, but like I know for a time they had like something like 13, which is very small compared to considering the size. They're not really about crypto. But I think what happens is they don't see the necessity of this technology because I don't think they're seeing the amount of people in Africa or South America or even Asia in impoverished countries that could gain so much value by being able to transfer directly from their phone or by being able to trade directly from their phone. Or if I wanted to send money to my relative in Colombia, by sending them directly money without being charged Western Union fees, bank draft fees, all these other fees, all of a sudden that frees up for me to send them more money, which they can use more productively. I think last time we talked about discovering value, releasing value, and this is in a large part what crypto is about.
But what people need to understand about guys like Warren Buffett is these guys, they might not be like, they're on a different level. So they don't understand, like, they won't get the struggles of like regular 9 to 5 working people who see, well, okay, like I was saying like last time, like the people who live in like very like remote areas, like that's something that's extremely useful to them. Hey, I can pay my light bill right now, so I don't have to stay in the dark right here instead of me traveling, driving an hour and a half, 2 hours, or maybe I don't have a car, so I got to take transit. It takes me 3 hours just to get to town just to pay. So I can have some light. So he will never understand certain things of that. So you say, well, no, we don't need this. Like, what's the point of this? Meanwhile, it's like very common people need this stuff, but he's just too removed to like understand what he needed for.
Yeah. The other good thing I like about it too is like everything is there. All the information is tracked. So you paid the bill, yes, here it is. It says I paid it. You received or anything. Like no one can take your stuff and sell it to someone else, or everything should be as it should have been. I would think. Like,
exactly. Actually, what I'll do right now, we'll go into Ethereum a little bit, and I'm going to show you guys something really, really cool. This gets a little bit more technical.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is people can't sign on Instagram anymore because you can see how much money they really got or don't have.
Actually, right now, I believe he's sitting on a lot of cash. He ended up buying up a bunch of airlines he thought were actually going to do well.
Yeah.
Turns out I think they still kept kind of crashing.
I think I'll leave it at that one. I feel like we went through a lot of stuff.
For sure.
Yeah. But again, any sort of questions or anything, definitely let me know. And if you guys want me to cover something specific, I kind of wanted to go into those today, but I would probably wait. Let's wait to see what Elon Musk does on Saturday.
Oh man, a lot of people are hating it. A lot of people are not too fond of it, but we'll see.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I see it trending. I see all these rappers buying it. Like, I don't know if you know, Soulja Boy bought Bitcoin like way back, and then he made a crypto song about it. It's a banger. And he was
really?
Yeah, man.
Well, you still make music.
Yo,
you know what? One thing about that guy. Oh yeah. True.
Young Draco, man.
Yeah, one thing about him, I'm not a fan of his. Never really was a fan of his music, but one thing I could say, business savvy. That guy is just. he's always
trying,
been, he's always been one of those guys who's like not just really good at business, but he's always been like ahead of time. So a lot of times you might see him come to like the Breakfast Club. You say, yeah, man, I got this N64 looking game. Well, that was kind of a ripoff.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. So then they're asking him, and he's like, hey man, yeah, I'm selling soap, selling toilet paper, and it's just like, how?
Oh shoot.
Yeah, he and then like years ago, like he was in on like the early like virtual reality glasses and Google and everything. But he's always one of those guys. He's always been like ahead. He's in a little bit of everything. So that's one thing I like about him.
Sounds good, buddy. I think we'll wrap it up there.
Good.
Again, I don't know if whenever you guys have questions, let us know.
Questions? Nothing else? Hit the notepad, buddy. Anybody you want to give a shout out? Anything you want to let people know what's going on?
Shout out today. Okay, so I think last time I was telling you like the thing that I do is I always just request for people to check out our church website at the Hispanic Church. I think I don't know if I sent you like the Google Maps, but you can give us just a 5-star rating there. That would be sick.
Sure. Where do you do the 5-star rating?
I'm sorry.
Where do you do the star rating? On the Facebook
I can
as well?
send you a direct link, but basically what you do, you can do it when you go to the website.
Oh, the actual website.
Whether it's I help. I basically built this website. And basically what you do is, oh no, it's right here. There's that little map when you go to the English side or the Spanish side. You literally just click on the map, and that actually takes you to the location of the church in Ajax. And then from there, it's just a matter of giving your, just a 5-star rating.
Okay.
Just down here. You'll see it because I already rated it. But you'll see it there, and that's a way that you can help the community out. We have been growing actually a lot. Our streams are getting more on point. We recently purchased some lighting that's really helping.
Yeah.
Just with everything in general. The church is just like a lot of businesses, they're suffering, right? But whatever you can do to help the community, I encourage that. And even if it's not this church, like and even if it's maybe like a mosque or whatever sort of community involvement, I would encourage you to do that. And then on top of that, I know my buddy does have his church brand. It's called Revival. And if you want, I can send you his Instagram. He sells clothing apparel. So it's actually really high quality. It's all made in Canada. Revival. I can send you his Instagram. I help him make some of the media content.
Yeah.
We actually came from Cambridge about a couple of days ago. I think we went on Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember. But it was a good time. It was cold, but we got some really cool content for his Instagram. So
that's where he is. Or are you guys going like different places?
No, we've actually gone to different places to do filming. So his thing is called Be the Revival. This is actually the last video that we just made.
Yeah.
And then this is the one video that we shot in Toronto. Sweaters, got jackets there too. So definitely hit him up. I think he might have sold out of some of his stuff. This is some of his newer stuff. Would have to ask. I think his shop is bigger. You can check out the content and everything. That's the catalog. Yeah, so it looks like I think the jacket is still on. So he's kind of creating like a sense of like a brand or an identity. He's very good at being he has that artistic side to it.
Yeah.
Kind of just. I think I mentioned that last time too, man. Like, as someone who wants to see his community thrive, like I think these are the types of things that you really do have to look out for, is to help others in their vision. Like you guys in your podcast. Like it's awesome that I can bring a little bit of value to you guys, and eventually, that may be returned to. Like you never know, right? So,
for sure.
So it's kind of the same premise. But yeah, I can send you the Instagram.
For sure, yeah, man. There's some nice stuff. And that's what eventually we're going to get into, but I know when it comes to clothes, it takes a lot. Like a lot of research.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things is finding like suppliers. So, people who can send you stuff on time, proper samples and all that. overseas is always difficult, whether it's a language barrier or just a time difference. It's nice to do it here, but finding someone who is good, or serious, or just willing to work out at like a decent pricing, so it's a very difficult thing to get in. And there's so much of it too. That's the other thing. A lot of people do it, so you gotta be different. You gotta be intentional.
Absolutely. No, I hear you. That can be really it can be really challenging in that sense. But I think with like everything, right? Like if you ask, you do a little bit of research. Like I know with him, his supplier is really cool. He had been going around, and because it is a church related or spiritual related a brand, he was actually able to get a really good discount for his clothes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like what do you want to produce, and just chase it, right? And
that slowly kind of built up, and this is what essentially built Berkshire Hathaway. It's like this concentration of wealth instead of just pouring your money all over the stock market. So again, we say that to the retail investor because it seems like the most risk adverse way, but it's not necessarily the most efficient way to look at it. But really, what I tell people and people who have mentored over time, it's like you can invest in crypto and you can invest in stocks and whatever, but really what you should be thinking about is how do you take that money and how do you actually create a business with it, at least a portion of the money, because the business is really what's going to get you paid. It's not necessarily the investing. Yes, you can see like some people have made a ton of money with Doge, but that's it's odd. Even ask anybody 2 months ago, say who's going to put $10,000 on Doge? If you did, congratulations. But again, who's going to put $10,000 on Doge? Like that doesn't really make too much sense. It's too much risk.
Well, as usual, man, thank you for your time. Very helpful. Lots of information. Gotta hit the notes.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think for sure. And again, no, I did not mean to insult anybody.
No, but hey,
this is not like I'm not attacking anybody. It's just the reality is the systems, right?
It is what it is. They know it too. So they know. That's why they're so resistant against change.
Yeah.
Because they know they are where they are. They've made what they've made because of it. It was more geared to actually helping people. A lot more people would have more money. They wouldn't have as much wealth as they did. So it's just about relinquishing some of that. I don't want to say power, but I guess finance or control. Mm-hmm. So that's where. Because if you think about it, if everyone's doing this, then we don't need you. Like we don't need your banks. For you to charge me to hold my money to lend it out to make more money, I'm not really giving anything from it. So
absolutely,
they're 100% against it. Not that they're not buying it because they know it's inevitable, but a lot of banks have been buying it for sure. But you would like to, not have it come to be the main thing.
Not a problem, guys.
Thank you for having me. It's always an awesome pleasure. I'm hoping that one day I can see your house in person. I've been meaning to go.
One day.
I'm so excited to go.
One day, man. We gotta do something. Hopefully everything's good. Well, I don't know. I'll see you by the end of summer. Because it would be nice to do some barbecues and have everyone do some FIFA and everything. But
yeah, man. It'd be nice. We gotta catch up in a minute.
For sure. All right, man.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for having me again.
Anytime.
I will talk to you guys hopefully soon.
Sure. Take it easy.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Go, John.
All right, folks. So here we are again. It's your boy Prince. Just want to let you guys know. Thanks for checking in with us. Hopefully, everything's good. Everyone keeping safe. Good with your family. Just a reminder, the link's going to be in the bio for everything we talked about tonight. Also, don't ever forget, send some donations in for the GoFundMe relief for St. Vincent and the Grenadines volcano eruption. Still got a lot more money to raise, a lot more work to do. If you have food, PPE, clothing, whatever it is, supplies, camping goods, anything, you can always just DM us. We'll pick it up to pack in some barrels and send it home to help out for the people. As always, thanks again for watching. think my house is sleepy. She's all crypto out.
No, thank you guys for supporting us. Like you said, whatever you can donate.
To St. Vincent would be great.
Yes, just a little bit. And floods.
They're looking for now, of course, it's only food and all those things, but they're really looking for PPE. They're looking for cleaning products, equipment, power washers, those kinds of things. So, of course, those items cost a lot more money. Which is, would be great if everyone could continue to donate. Our link is still in our bios on Instagram feed, so
Facebook,
click the link.
Twitter.
And donate whatever you can.
It does not have to be
$100 anything.
Yeah.
$5. That's fine too. So, yeah.
Yes, $5. Come on, man. You can skip Starbucks this week. Come on, one day. Just do skip Starbucks one day and help some people who actually need it. You know what I mean? Thank you guys again for watching. Always. Good night.
Bye.